But first, we go to Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin with more on this armada. Jennifer.
Well, Aisha, you just heard the president say he's given Iran a deadline. The ongoing massive military buildup appears to be part of some last-minute gunboat diplomacy. The protests, which raged earlier this month, have quieted for now as regime opponents are too terrified to leave their houses. Meanwhile, Iran remains cut off from the world. Iranian activist Moj Madara, who started the Iranian Diaspora Collective, has spoken with Iranians who are right now in hiding.
The internet is up at most 20 minutes a day, and for the most part, they're being listened to by the regime. So people are stuck inside, for all intents and purposes, house arrest. They're now starting to get the news that the numbers are 36,000, upwards of 40, 50,000.
One high-profile case, Zara Tabari, a 67-year-old retiree sentenced to death after a brief video trial, has been removed from death row but remains imprisoned. Her son, Sarush Samak, had this warning.
If they came for my 67-year-old mom, who didn't do nothing, then nobody is safe.
President Trump called off military strikes earlier this month when the regime agreed to halt more than 800 executions. Iranians say those executions have started up again.
There has been north of 14 to 15 executions that have already taken place, and the regime is telling on their own state TV they don't care. They have 43,000 people, protesters, that they've arrested. They will be tried as spies, as allies of America, and they are going to murder these people.
The U.S. continues to surge military assets into the region, including a carrier strike group, the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is now in the Arabian Sea with dozens of stealth fighter jets. The EU agreed to list Iran's Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, perhaps helping the U.S. lay the groundwork for a legal justification to target the IRGC and Iran's top leaders. Aisha?
Okay, Jen Griffin live for us. Jen, thank you.
All right, with us now is State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott. Tommy, good to have you with us. It looks like when it comes to Iran that the president is employing the tried and true gunboat diplomacy. Here's what he said just a little while ago. Listen here.
We have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now, and it would be great if we didn't have to use them. I told them two things. Number one, no nuclear, and number two, stop killing protesters. They're going to have to do something. Nobody's seen anything like it.
So the president is urging Iran to make a deal. I mean, what kind of deal is he looking for? What is he looking to get out of these talks?
Well, look, the president has been very clear. He outlined the two messages he has for the regime right there: no nuclear weapons and to stop killing protesters. What the president is doing here is peace through strength. The president's been clear he wants to have a deal. He'll have talks with people when it's in our national interest to do so. And the demands, the message that he is sending to the Iranian regime has been very clear. He's done it repeatedly.
All right. So many people in Iran and in the United States believe that the time for regime change is now, that the regime is in very, very bad shape. Listen to what Marco Rubio, your boss, said about it just a little while ago.
That regime is probably weaker than there's ever been. And the core problem they face, unlike the protests you saw in the past on some other topics, is that they don't have a way to address the core complaints of the protesters, which is that their economy is in collapse.
So is it time for a change?
Well, ultimately, as the secretary was talking about there, is that the Iranian regime has wasted their vast wealth. Instead of funding infrastructure for water, food, and energy, they've wasted it on malign activities. And the important context here is from the beginning of this administration, we've had a maximum pressure policy instituted by President Trump to deny the Iranian regime the revenues they need to continue those malign activities, to fund those malign activities, including that nuclear program, including a ballistic missile program, including funding their terrorist proxies across the region. We're seeing further sanctions and actions being taken even this week in furtherance of that maximum pressure policy. That's been the context here. The regime wasting their vast wealth. Instead of meeting the needs of their people, they're wasting it on these malign activities.
Right. So again, do you believe it's time for regime change?
Well, ultimately, what we're focused on here is advancing the national interest of the United States. The president's been clear. He wants to see a deal that would address these malign activities and further our interests. And he's had those messages for the regime, including no nuclear weapons and to stop killing protesters.
But if this regime won't do it, is it time for somebody else to take charge?
Well, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals here, but this is a situation that the president is monitoring incredibly closely. He's advancing our national interests, as he always does. It's about making America safer, stronger, more prosperous. And the way the president does that is through peace, through strength.
So there was an interesting move that the European Union took, and that was to list the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as a terrorist organization, which brought the following response from Ali Larijani in Iran, who said, quote, the European Union certainly knows that according to the resolution of the Iranian parliament, the armies of the countries that were involved in the recent EU resolution against the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps are considered terrorists. Therefore, the consequences will fall on the European countries that took such action. I mean, from Iran, Tommy, that seems like so much blah, 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 blah. But it's pretty significant that the EU took that step.
Indeed, and this goes to the maximum pressure policy as well. The fact that you see an Iranian regime that is the world's leading state sponsor of terror. And we've been very clear that we need to see those malign activities come to an end. We're going to deny them revenue to implement those policies through our maximum pressure policy. And we encourage other countries to join in that effort. That's been clear from the beginning of this administration, part of these conversations to address that funding of terrorism that we see from this regime.
So the big question is, if the regime were to fall, who comes next? Obviously, Reza Pahlavi has recently officially thrown his hat into the ring. He wants to be an interim leader there. Mariam Rajavi of the National Council for the Resistance in Iran, formerly the MEK, would like to be the interim leader. Is it one of them? Is it somebody else? I mean, what's the State Department thinking?
Well, look, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. As I mentioned earlier, we're focused on our national interests here. The president's clear. He wants to see the regime come to the table to make a deal that would address the clear concerns, very clear concerns, that the president has outlined.
All right, well, you know, they may be hypothetical at the moment, but hypotheticals often have a habit of quickly becoming reality. So we'll revisit this with you. Tommy, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.